Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another edition of 95X Live. I am Dixon. Happy to be joined today by an upstart artist that you've heard the last few weeks on our specialty show called The Fringe. This is Alice Longyu Gao. Alice, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and chat with us this evening.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
So stoked. I'm such a fan of
Aw.
the music. I really dig what you've got going on. You've got a new EP. It's called Let's Hope Heteros Fail, Learn, and Retire. It features the single that we play on the show called Helloe Kitty. It's the follow-up to a previous EP you released mid-pandemic 2021 called High Dragon and Universe.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore Helloe Kitty. I love the new EP. It is bombastic and dynamic and has such an appeal to me. I love the juxtaposition of so many different influences. And I see that that seems to be a theme through most of what you do. And I've got to tell you, I am absolutely enthralled with all aspects of your art.
Wow, thank you so much. I don't know. I'm just like, whoa, I love that. I love every time when people say good things about my music and my project. And yeah, thank you. I mean, hell yeah. Here we are. The new EP is out in the world. Very, very excited.
Very cool. Now, on the heels of that, you also have your CEO tour that's locked and loaded, ready to go. It kicks off in May in Europe. I think the first date's in London. And then
Yeah.
you make your way to North America with dates in Austin, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, and then Vancouver, British Columbia. Are you stoked to get out in tour and play these new songs for your fans?
Yeah, totally. So I think the most beautiful thing about doing what I do is learning because honestly, I just love to learn. We just announced the tour today, pre-sale on Wednesday. So like as I'm preparing for the tour, because I want to give people that a very like joyful and inspiring experience through coming to my shows. So that means myself, I'm learning like a lot of like technology. Like I want to incorporate all this like new MIDI controller. I play harp, so I want to figure out a way so my harp could sound good at like a pop music venue, because I'm not playing like at a concert hall, so there's a lot of learning and technology goes behind preparing for a tour and just overall doing what I do. So I love that part of my life and my day-to-day working so much. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, it seems like you've got yourself set up with a pretty interactive website that has all the details that we'll be discussing today. That's alg.world. And
Yeah.
I love that URL of .world.
Well, we spent $50 to get that domain, but yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I just would love to invite everybody to join me in my world and enjoy music and art and all the beautiful things.
Absolutely. And you are a relatively prolific artist for someone your age. Your resume is very impressive with both the music, and I know that you started your musical career as a DJ, but I also know that you've done some physical art and had art installed in different places. You've been a producer, director. What else in the creative space do you see yourself sort of taking on as you progress as an artist, not just as a musician?
Yeah, so actually this year I really want to tap into film and TV space because I love dressing up. I love express myself, and yeah, I would love to see myself on the big screen one day. So yeah, I don't know like what type of opportunity that might fall into my laps, whether if it's a TV show or film or whatever. But yeah, so that's just the energy I want to, put it out there and manifest.
Absolutely. Well, I know that your music videos are very engaging and visually stimulating. And I love that they're all so different, right? I think they show off different aspects of your personality and they're very fitting to the songs. And again, they're infectious and contagious in a way where, like, for me anyway, I can't just watch like the video for Hello Kitty right? Like I dive into like Brazil and all of the others, right? Like it's almost that kind of thing where there's this addictive quality to what you do because it's so different from anything else I've ever heard before. I
Oh,
mean, with so many artists, it's very easy to draw a parallel line from them to things that you know have influenced them. And what I adore about your music specifically is that I can't do that at all. I mean, there's a couple of like weird lines that I can draw to be like, because the only thing that my brain can come up with where I can be like, okay, it does kind of remind me of is an old project of Mike Patton's called Phantomas. Mike
okay.
was the singer in Faith No More, Mr. Bungle. He's had a whole bunch of projects. But Phantomas was sort of something he did with Dan the Automator that allowed different influences in. And that's what I love is that like you have embraced all of these counterculture genres, whether it be hip hop or what a lot of people kind of refer to as anti pop or hyper pop, but also like, especially on Hello Kitty, there's multiculturalism built into that song with classical string arrangements and then the emulating of like a bike horn and almost like a polka beat to it. I love that it feels like you're almost in an international bazaar and everybody participating has also jumped in to the musical space.
Yeah, no, totally. Thank you so much. That's very, very I mean just very nice words to hear. Yeah, so when we were making my song Hello Kitty, I remember it was a demo that I made last year in December, and then so I was working with my friend Wyatt, and I showed him the demo I made, and then he basically uh started something fresh, but the song idea, the songwriting was sort of from the demo I showed him. And then I remember the second time or the third time we worked on the song, our mutual friend Austin joined us because Austin is a really good guitar player. And I personally, I'm a big fan of Rosalia's. So I was talking about like, oh my God, Rosalia, like all this like crazy like Spanish guitar, like how amazing they sound. And then Austin plays some amazing guitar on the song, and then we did some like sped up, we did some distortion. Yeah, and then here we are, you know, a song called Hello Kitty.
Very cool. I love it. We've gotten a great response to it on the Fringe on 95X. And it's funny how I came to the song. Mike, our mutual friend, who's also my record rep, hit me out of the blue with an email and a link to the video with just a
Oh
little
wow.
note of this is something that I think you would really, really like, not working you on it. And I opened it and immediately within 15 seconds of hearing the opening part of it, seeing the visual for the video, I was absolutely in love, but I couldn't shake this thing in my brain where I was like, I think I've heard them before. And then I immediately went to Spotify to like save all the songs because everything I heard I loved. And then I realized that I had a song already that I had listened to a bunch of times that kind of made my Wrapped last year, where you collaborated with Alice Glass on a song called Legend. And then
Yeah.
everything clicked and made sense in my head as to why your voice sounded so familiar to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, my experience working with Alice Glass was so precious and so great. And yeah, so basically I made a demo. Again, we love demos. So Legend was originally a demo of mine. So the song originally it was just me, and then I reached out to Alice Glass. I was like, oh my God, I would love to do a song together, blah, 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 blah. And then I sent her two options. Legend was one of them. And then she picked Legend, and then she hopped on the track. And then, you know, the version with Alice Glass on it just like beyond. And yeah, we love.
Absolutely. And you seem to be an artist that a lot of people want to collaborate with. I know that you worked with Dylan from 100 Gex. Those guys just released a new album called 10,000 Gex.
Yeah.
He was the sort of the force behind getting Rich Bitch Juice out on
Yeah.
his record label, which is Dog Show Records.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to be the song that landed on a playlist that was put together by none other than Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
How wild was that to be selected by not only like who I consider to be one of the most important artists of a generation, but also somebody who is almost like a pop culture icon with her acting,
Yeah.
fashion, and everything that she does. That had to be a great feeling to sort of get that endorsement from her.
Yeah, it was International Women's Day, her playlist for Apple Music. And when I found out about it, because she also tweeted on her Twitter about the playlist, I think I found out about it because of Twitter, because she tweeted or something like that. But then obviously when I found out, because the theme for her playlist is, I think it was called Club Visionaire. And myself, I'm a big party girl, so like when that happened, I was like, hell yeah, Lady Gaga just knows. So yeah, and then me and Dylan Brady, we met before the pandemic, and then we made Rich Bitch Juice, Down Bitch Juice, and then we released it on his record label, and this was right before Hyperpop as a Spotify playlist was invented. So, you know, it's been a wild and fun ride, and now here we are, you know.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned it, I've mentioned it, the term hyperpop, which I think is at this point sort of interchangeable also with anti-pop, because I see a lot of the same artists pop up in those spaces. And then when I did my Spotify Wrapped at the end of last year, a new sort of genre was thrust upon me called escape room, which I don't necessarily, I like. It's weird to me because a lot of the stuff that I really like, that I think exist in your world, is 100 Gex and artists like Jasmine Bean or Kim Dracula. There's a multitude of them, and you can even get into things that have gotten more mainstream, like Ashniko. Me personally, I understand that as music lovers, we all need to like sort of genreify and sub-genreify what we like as a clear definition. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that labels can sort of be dangerous to a degree because it doesn't allow people to kind of get out of their box. And I kind of wanted to get your opinion on these sort of subgenre titles of hyperpop, anti-pop, escape room, and whether or not you think you fit into that realm, or if you had a better descriptor for what you think your music should be described as.
I think, you know, I to be honest with you, I've been just doing my music. I've been just being me. And, you know, with all this genre labels, I didn't create them. And I'm sure they exist for a reason, whether if it's to benefit a community or benefit a company like Spotify. You know, they exist for a reason. And I think you know, I remember, you know, growing up, I was listening to a lot of, you know, J-pop or like Taylor Swift or you know, Mandarin pop as well. And I think, you know, I came to America when I was young, when I was 17 years old, and to be able to have my place in modern pop music, it's very, very special. And I think I'm very, very lucky. And to be, and moving forward and looking ahead, I just like, doesn't matter what the environment is, what's the, how should I even say, the game. I just want to, I just wish that I can continue being me and survive this way, and yeah, be appreciated for my work. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said, especially the part where the art is really representative of you. The one thing I do disagree with, though, is I don't think it was luck. I think you are infinitely talented. I think that you have a very unique and strong voice. And I don't mean that in a musical sense. I mean it from your perspective, your point of view, the things that you champion, the
Yeah.
things that you bring in to your art are important. And it's very appreciated to see a young artist like yourself take those stands, use your voice, and be successful in a way that I think that ultimately more artists should embody their beliefs within their output artistically. So I think you're very talented.
Thank you.
It's amazing to see somebody like yourself get this spotlight, because ultimately, I think we all know, there are certain tropes in the music industry that have a tendency to be overplayed. And the fact that you're coming at this with such a unique musical perspective, and it's so true and representative of who you are, is not something to be taken lightly. And in my opinion, it's something very, very rare these days.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think, my music and my art is a lot of it is based on my observation, and I try to say it in, like, I guess, whether if it's like comedy or being kind of like sarcastic or things like that. And I would love to, because I think a lot, I think a lot, and I question a lot of things, and I would encourage my people, my community, or whoever listening to this music, I would encourage them to think and to question, be curious and be skeptical, and that's what makes the world a better place.
Agreed. Well, Alice, thank you so much for your time today. I know that it is something that we don't all have a lot of, and when you're as busy as you, I know that it comes as a premium. So thank you very, very much for your time today. Congratulations on all of your success. The new EP is out everywhere now. It's called Let's Hope Heteros Fail, Learn, and Retire. It features the single Hello Kitty that we're playing on WAQX 95X in Syracuse. And you can get all the information you need at alg.world. Alice, thank you once again for your time today.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Enjoy the music.